Alright, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, want to give all praises and the highest honors to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the brothers out there doing these works in truth and sincerity. Shalom. It's the brother Ariaga from the Grand Rapids camp, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Okay, and today, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakwat Kwadash. So going into this lesson. Alright, so I did a little research, a little history research, between linking the history of having mercenaries on American soil. The last time that was done throughout history was the Hessians in a large scale in the War of Independence. We'll go into that a bit, but comparing that to the UN's help that's soon to come over in Chicago in this whole situation. So let's go and get straight into it. So with Chicago, Illinois, enduring nearly 3,500 shootings and over 600 homicides this year, one official is seeking the assistance of the United Nations in dealing with the quiet genocide of the city's black community. Alright, so let's go into the first half of it. Now, one of the main problems for our people is that through breeding and destruction and these curses, all of these things put together, we've been destroyed. And so our people are so gone from not following the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, falling away from them, and, just becoming more and more engulfed in this world. That separation has brought us to turmoil. And through that separation, we have no head, which is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And without that, our people dwell in pure chaos. So this is Isaiah 51:20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the rebuke of Yahweh, or the judge. Alright, so that's what's really taking part right now. You got these young so-called Negroes heavily of the Southern tribe going head to head up there, and it's Latinos too. Alright? So the Northern and the Southern tribes are getting murked out there. From California, I remember how it was in 95 and shit. You know what I'm saying? 93. The boys in the hood era and shit. There's a lot of heads getting busted, so for this to happen and take place, this is all by prophecy. Alright? Let's continue on. Cook County Commissioner Richard Boykin traveled to the UN last Thursday and met with the Assistant Secretary General for Peace Building Support. To discuss the murder rate in Chicago's African American community. The United Nations has a track record of protecting minority populations, Boykin told the Chicago Tribune before his meeting. So there's a bunch of bullshit, first of all. They have a track record for protecting. Now, come on, man. When we look at this chaos that's happening around the world, man, all right, and seeing who's actually behind it, implementing it, you get a better understand that the UN isn't necessarily this peacekeeping force. It's another task. It's the United Nations task-keeping force, so to speak, a taskmasters, to make sure things get enforced on an international level because they're united in this plan or these devices that they have. Continuing on. There was a tribal warfare between the Tutsis and the Hutus in Africa. I remember that, the Hotel Rwanda movie. And they deployed peacekeeping troops there to help save those populations and reduce the bloodshed. We have to do something. Black people in Chicago make up 30% of the population, but 80% of those who are killed by gun violence. Mm, 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 mm. And that's how it goes, bro. Because the Most High has a curse upon our people that's heavy. Alright, so he went to those UN officials seeking help. Alright, so he went to Caesar seeking another form of help to judge the jurisdiction, which is all bullshit. Because they have the ability to enforce, different things. Because you gotta realize this is above, like the apostles was going into. This is above the military, the army, the Marines, the National Guard. You're going straight to the UN. And the UN, being a mercenary force, or a force that's from outside this place, is going to see everybody as a target, as a problem. If you're a so-called black man, or a Latino, or Native American man, they're going to look at you and they're going to think kill on sight. So what you think the Most High is really holding the hands of these devils back, because it's not time yet. So even though you see these police shootings, these things taking place, I mean, shit, that's only the beginning, okay? So, let's go along. You gotta be careful of the devices of these devils. This is 1 Peter 5 and 10. But Yahweh of all grace. Oh, Slack, hold on. This is 1 Peter 5 and 8. Be sober, Salakia. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, who's your adversary? Going all the way back to Jacob and Esau, our predecessors, from the beginning, the so-called Native American, Latino, Negro has been at enmity with Salakia, with the Edomite nations, and all the other nations for that matter. But there's one in particular nation called the devil, which means Diabolos, is just to deceive. And that's the so-called white man, the Caucasian, the red man, Esau, Edom. As a roaring lion walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. And some of the ways that it devour you, financially, mentally, spiritually, and physically, on every level, you being attacked constantly by the nations around you, starting with the devil. Alright, and everybody else just put their hand in the cookie jar. And they, reap the benefits of that. Okay. So, let's see. Alright, so I'm going to the Hessian history real quick. So this is one of the things that the Lord had brought across my attention, because I remember a little bit of it from, the shit you pick up in life. I ain't going to say from school, because I don't really remember this shit from school, but I will say from that I picked up and when I was in school. Alright, so this is the Hessians. And let's just get straight to it, The term Hessian refers to the approximately 30,000 German troops. So like, okay, 30,000 German troops hired by the British to help fight during the American Revolution. They were principally drawn from the German state of Hesse-Kassel. Although soldiers from the other German states also saw action in America. Right, so these German soldiers were called in, hired by the UK, and called in to battle the United States. Well, at the time, um, soldiers of the American forces against the German forces. So you see this constant conflict from then all the way to World War II and three, well, I wouldn't, to the oncoming World War III, soon to be true. But it's constantly against, the Germans, right? Or a mercenary force that was brought in to fight a battle. And it says they were principally drawn from the German state. Okay, I read that, Slovakia. Hiring a foreign army was not unusual in the 18th century. For Hesse Cassel, soldiers were a major export. By renting its army to the British, Hesse Cassel took in an amount equal to about 13 years worth of tax revenue. So he's making money bringing in. So it's cheaper to bring in UN troops, technically. That's what it's getting at. One would think it would be more. All right. That's because they have their forces focused on dealing with the war at hand. Even the reserve is going to probably end up seeing a lot more combat. They all going out. They sending all their forces, kind of like what happened with Pharaoh when he rode out to, try to reclaim Israel after Yahweh Bashim Yahweh used Moses to set Israel free at that time. Destroyed their whole army at once. So let's see. This allowed the state's prince, the Landgraf Frederick II, to keep taxes low and public spending high. So there's a plan. It's a ploy behind what they're doing by also sitting in for the U.S. troops. A man of the Enlightenment, Frederick oversaw public works projects, administered a public welfare system, and encouraged education, which is the opposite here, or what they're trying to make the opposite because they're trying to take all of those things away. Let's see. So just going a little further into it, there weren't no holes, like it says, even so military needs dominated the country. When boys turned 7, they were registered for military service. And each year, men ages 16 to 30 had to be present themselves to an official for possible induction. All right. So it's just going into the history of them. Okay, as you can see. So I talk about life in the Hessian army was harsh. All right. But what I'm getting at by showing these things is that if they sent, or if foreign soldiers were sought to fight wars on foreign soil, which ours would be a foreign soil, then it's benefits behind it for the government itself and, for the mercenary forces. That way they can better focus their forces for the day of Armageddon, or the gathering of the mountain of troops, man. All right, let's see. This is Sirach 16 and 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when the evil shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So So when you see these things, you're supposed to be a minute. You're supposed to get your shit together, man. Okay? And it's also a sign of those that do believe and that do know to tighten up, man. It's time, man. Y'all by Shemiah Shabarak, 2018 be the year. Continuing on. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor always be mindful of the scourges. Because 2/3 just don't give a fuck. They not going to see the scourges. These wicked demons, they ain't going to see the scourges. I mean, they see them. The wise of they people do. But they're going to continue to do wickedly because they know they have but a short time. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Right? Because everybody got a flash screen. Shit, you can probably go in the trap house and find a flash screen, a couple of them. Different electronics don't cost much, man. Things is at a low, gas. You know what I'm saying? All to keep niggas entertained. Keep the sheep entertained. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So these are the times that we coming into. Okay? And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. All right, so this is coming into the city, so, this is just a word out to the brothers in Chicago, Like the apostle said, that's actually a good idea. Just keep track of what's happening, So the Most High call y'all out of the city. Then y'all by Shemiah Shai will guide y'all brothers out of there, Because the time is coming for us all. Really, we watching, and they're watching, because it's all an experiment to see how to take out the other places and the other cities. Start with the most violent one. And then work your way out. They'll command and conquer theory. Alright. So they'll use those same tactics to implement a takedown of each and every other strategic place as well. So, we got to pay close attention. There shall no man be left to till the earth or to sow it. They coming up with robots to do that anyway. Alright? And there shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? And the grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? And all the places shall be desolate of men. So that one man shall desire to see another, and to hear his voice. Because it's going to, if you look at The Walking Dead or different shows like that, or different movies like The Road, you would understand why it would be like that. Because at times like that, people show their true colors. It's not laws and fears of judgment of a man that keep these people from putting their hand forward. All right? It's get it how you live at that point in time, literally. And so the mind state that everybody, even those that you think is close to you, will change. Like I said, the enemies will even be those of your own household in that day. For the city, because without food and water, man, motherfuckers change. Especially those that claim they have faith and they don't. And it's tested in that day. Man, a lot of cats is going to crumble. For of a city, there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. Now I understand that this is going back talking about, basically what happened to Israel in the last days in 70 AD. And history has a way of repeating itself. So these are the things that we're coming into, and we're seeing it even with these things that they're doing in Chicago and they have planned. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so on the day there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that scourged the houses with the sword, right? Because it's gonna come times them troops. Now, yeah, let's go back to that real quick. Shit, got to do it. Now we look back at this. One of the things that I saw in this article. Let's see. All right, so we turn right to it. It says life in the Hessian army was harsh. The system aimed to install iron discipline, and the punishments could be brutal. Still, morale was generally high. Officers were well educated, promoted. Promotion was by merit, and soldiers took pride in serving their prince and their people. Furthermore, military service provided economic benefits. The families of soldiers were exempt from certain taxes. And I also want to say that this is one of the ways that they'll try to deal with that refugee problem, all right, because there's benefits in being a soldier, as you will see. So that's another way, because if they force a draft upon those of a foreign soil, because, I had to bring it up in a lesson soon to come after this, of pictures of the Humvees that, some of the brothers had seen, and I did some research on it with the crescent, red crescent moon and the star. Hundreds of them, on these trains, trucks and stuff. And that is a sister symbol to the Red Cross in Palestine, if I'm not mistaken, or in the Middle East. And one of the major things is that identifies to them. So those were being imported here, not exported. So one of the things that's wild is if they do use those refugees as soldiers amongst other UN troops or what have you, it could be chaos, man. But continuing on. Furthermore, military service provided economic benefits. The families of soldiers were exempt from certain taxes. Wages were higher than in farm work, and there was promise of booty, money earned through the sale of captured military properties, and plunder, property taken from civilians. That's the point I really wanted to get at right there, because there's something in it for them. Why would they not? You know how many cats been irking to get over here, especially to the American soil, and shed some blood, because it's been shed on their soil due to the things and atrocities of the United States. So of course they want to pass that on. Not to mention they want to get some of that American plunder in too. I mean, hey, this is how they feel, because America's been doing it to them. Continuing on. Officially, plunder was verbatim or forbidden, but officers who also had a taste for looted goods often looked the other way. The pinchment for plunder made the Hessians unpopular with Americans. Right. I mean, the history has a way of repeating itself. Okay. Because even if the UK purchased the Hessians to come and fight soldiers in the War of Independence, the thing is, that could still be funded by the UK to come over here and do that, while America focuses the majority of their forces on the battlefront to come. The pinchment for plunder, Slovakia, let's see. Yep, so the pinchment for plunder made the Hessians unpopular with Americans. The Declaration of Independence, for example, condemned the king from transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny, already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy, scarcely paralleled in the most Salaki, I don't have my glasses on. Barbarous ages. The point in it being, and totally unworthy in the head of the civilian nations, I declare the war. Hessian's plundering often push neutral or indifferent Americans to the patriot side. I gotta get that again. Salaki. Let's read that again. I fucked that all up. It says, the desolation and tyranny already began with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of the civilized nation. I, during the war, during the war, Hessian plundering often pushed neutral or indifferent Americans to the patriot side. So these things come, it's gonna really make all of these cats that's asleep determine where they stand in this battle to come. All right. Jumping down real quick, getting to the meat of it. Well, it's all meat. It's like that's a lot of meat on this bone, but there's a specific point that I want to get to. So continuing, second Ezra 16:68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. Quick to eat up that pork. All right, that's just one, especially in them Harley houses, as well as not just abominable foods, man. These doctrines, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. For there shall be in every place and in every next city a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Right, because it's going to be all out hell. Man, it ain't going to be no joke, man. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. So they're going to come after those that actually fear and love Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. It's going to come a time. They already try to lump us in with those Muslims and shit. You know, oh yeah, because they talk Hebrew like they did with the apostles. And when they had the school, they tried to lump them in, the Hebrew in with the 9/11 terrorist attack and all that bullshit. You know, they just have to, they take and recite the same devices, man. Because the American public is fucking idiots. For the most part. Like I said, they should be like madmen sparing none. That's why you can't trust everybody in those times. And you pray out by Shem Yahushai that, you know, we are part of the possible and the hopeful elect. You know, that's the ones that you can trust in. And in those times, it's going to produce who's real and who's fake amongst them for real amongst us in the first place. So that'll truly be a time of refining and testing for us. But still spoiling and destroying those that fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Right. And they're going to be cast out of these houses, man. All of us. They're going to come in shit. Either you're going to have to leave in the first place because of the things that's taking place. And, you know, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will guide us and lead us out. or, they have to come do whatever may take place, whatever that situation may be for each individual. We got to understand that these are the times that we coming in. So we have to prepare physically, mentally, but above all spiritually. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen. Right? Because if you got the chip, right? You got the chip, then they'll make all of that possible for you, all of these welfare programs and stuff. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a vet. You know what I'm saying? And I got messed up in the Army. But I got benefits. Yeah, you have to fight for certain benefits, even when you're supposed to have them. Shit happens, right? Go figure. But one of the things I did get, because my shit is to the point where I'm not able to work or stand on my feet like that, man. Back messed up, destroyed. This and my back destroyed. But I'm not trying to get surgery. Y'all, Bashim, y'all, shot forbid. In my knee. Come on, man. We can go down the line. And this is all a thick, fat file of actual facts. Yet the point stands. I know that my God is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Alright. And in them times to come. Yeah, see, I have been blessed to have certain things, One of the things I do have as me and having a family, a household, and being the head of my household, the Lord has blessed me with a Section 8 house. So, motherfuckers be like, oh, niggas ride Section 8, you gonna get kicked out. Yeah, that stuff is gonna be taken away. All of these things. But I have faith in y'all, Basham, y'all shine. I have a family. So for all the brothers out there that do have families, it's a lot that's expected. The salvation of not only ourselves, but our loved ones is really in our hands. Well, we only get out by Shemiah Shai's hands. So they're depending on what we do. Let's see. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire, right? Because when you try gold in the fire, you refine it. You remove the impurities, some called dross, and what's left behind is the shiny good stuff, the pure stuff. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So those that believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and seek him, support that those who do these works in truth and sincerity, and believe and hold on to these things, and deny the chip, the mark of the beast in these times to come is going to make the determining factor. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh is your guide, and the guide of them who keep my commandments, the precepts with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up. Let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Right, because it's time to lock in right now. Can't let these sins that we have weigh us down. It's right now. It's time to really lock in and do these works and be purified as much as possible, and keep our garments white in preparation for these days to come. And the guide of them will keep my commandments and my precepts, and be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is your guide, and the guide of them that keep my commandments and precepts, says Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Let not your sins weigh you down. And who's doing that? All right, right now that we know of, for the most part, those men of the great millstone who do these works in season and out of season, blizzards and shit. The crazy conditions. sometimes the elements just act up on you while you out there. And we have to endure that, man. And push this word, even when we prophesy to the wind, even if no one's out there. Why? Because we have faith, man. Because what these precepts say, these scriptures. And let not your sins weigh you down, or let your iniquities lift up themselves. Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities, like a field is covered over with brushes, and the paths thereof covered with thorns, and no man may travel through. So you just got a lot of bullshit that you're continuing in, because we have to die to our old ways and that old man, to have a ruling class mentality, to comprehend this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures. If Yahweh shall be working with us. Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities, like as a field covered onto with brushes, and as a path thereof covered with thorns, and no man may travel through. It is left undressed, and is cast into the fire to be consumed therewith. And that's that nuclear fire, that destruction. All right, that's the reality of it. I'll hit you with a couple more scripts. And then I'll let this go. Yahshua Barak is edifying up until this point. I pray you work with me. All right. This is Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And who is that? Referring back to 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. Those that follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Those that seek the Lord and that don't travail in that sin and continue. Those that lock down and do exactly what Yahweh Shem Yahushua told us to the best of our ability in this captivity, and have faith now and in these days to come. For it shall come to pass. Well, that's the point now, real quick. Since we're making it hit. Hitting gum already. Stretching it out. Let's see. This is Psalms 27:5. On the time of trouble, he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me upon a rock. Throughout the Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua for the elect, man. But that's who that's referring to. It's not referring to every average Joe Smo. This nigga, they gonna be destroyed. But he got something to set aside for his elected. 1/3, man. And now shall my head be lifted above mine enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing, yea, I will sing praises unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And this is what we're doing with this truth. We're singing, man. You gotta have a certain rhythm to get to this beat. Let's see. Let's see. I want to get this point. Okay. Salakia. According to the works of the dead. Alright, this is Jeremiah 20:25 and 15. For thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Salakia. For thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahushai, power of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of my fury at my hand, and cause the nations to whom I send of thee to drink it. Right? So, even though these nations is finna come against us in these times, man, Most High is gonna make them drink of this shit too. That wine being a captivity, slavery, bondage. And they shall drink and be moved and be mad because the sword that I will send among them. And then took I the cup of Yahweh Shem Yahushai's hand, and made all the nations to drink unto whom Yahweh Shem Yahushai has sent me. All right, so we making all these other nations, we not just out to eat them. We got to all these nations, so-called Chinese, Japanese, all right, Arab, Mongolian, goddamn Hamitic, you real Hamites, you real Africans, not the ones of the elected of our people spread there. Okay. I'm just going on. It's like it. Alright, this is going further into it because a lot of people, they still out there partying and acting up and banging their shit, fucking hoes. You know, not many is really taking heed to what's really taking place because the Most High has blinded. Whether they be there, whether they be outside of it, this whole situation needs to really be zeroed in on. Alright, because it's considering the next move that Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to make and win, you know. Therefore, I have to curse. Well, let's go on. This is Isaiah 24:5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Right. And that's starting with Israel, man. All right. Coming into the history that we've had of falling away from Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we transgressed against the law. All right, and these demons, these devils, have a part to do with that as well. But the Most High is punishing. This is our punishment that we're going through. We're falling away from Yahweh Shem Yahushai continuously. We can start at 24:4 of Isaiah. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Right? And that's going into these Edomites, man. Right now, they feeling the pressure as the dollar's falling every day. So I read an article that said ever since September 11th, the United States has been losing I think it was something like $15,000 every second to that extent. $1,500 every second since September 11th. Damn. Therefore, I have to curse, devour the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore, the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. And that's going to be the ending. That curse is going to be the nuclear destruction, man. It's only going to be few men left, which is going to be the elect and those that's going into captivity. The new wine mourneth, and the vine languisheth, and the merry hearted do sigh, because all that mirth is finna be taken away. The mirth and tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceases. So all them beats, all that hard ass music, hard ass rap songs, R&B, whatever may be coming from Chicago, starting there when these things do happen, all of that's gonna cease there. Then it's gonna be like a domino effect to every other major city. If it be Yahushua's will. They shall not drink wine with the song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it, right? Because this is history repeating itself. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. There's so much killing and wild shit going on in Chicago right now. Now, that's talking about Babylon on a whole, but that is a city of confusion right now, man. And they're going to break it down, if time serve it right. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. There's crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened and the mirth of the land is gone. The city is left desolate and the gate is spent with destruction. Right? They thought this happened to Israel in its past. I said history repeats itself and everything has a start, because that was the beginning of, Yahweh Shem Yahushua pretty much turning his back on us, as stated in Hosea at that time. He turned his hand away from us. And we were out in the wilderness, man. So this could be the beginning of a great birth pain, because when thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as a shaking of an olive tree and as the gleaning of the grapes in the vintage done. That's pretty much the gist of it, man. All right. So for these things that's coming, these mercenaries, it's all set aside to bring prophecy about. So just keep your eyes open and your hearts diligent on this truth for those of the hopeful elect. Because, hey, let the Most High guide you, for those that don't get it, from Chicago on out, or however the Lord make it happen, and you won't feel it. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. One more thing. Good. All right, stop. All right. Almost good. Because pretty much made it plain already, but just to further edify, just a little bit more. We're going to Isaiah 63. I have seen to have lost my marbles. Excuse me. Sloppy. Okay, this is Isaiah 65 and 11. but you are they that forsake Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, that forgot my holy mountain, that prepare a table for the truth, that furnish the drink offering unto that number. Right. So since you didn't hear this word, you didn't want to hear this truth, because we got big camps, couple brothers out there in the Chicago camp, big up to the Chicago camp, Chi-Town camp. You furnishing the table for yourself, man, unto that number. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, you did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear. But did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Therefore I say of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen. For Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai shall slay thee, and call his servants by another name. So those brothers out there that's doing these works in truth and sincerity, and hold out, man. The Most High is going to deliver them from whatever madness that's going to come upon them. And it's going to come upon everybody else the same as such over here and everywhere else. So, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai be with you, brothers, man. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakwa, Kodash. Alright. So all praises, high sons. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Mashayah. And double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. These brothers out here doing these works in truth and sincerity. To these sisters also who may be watching, Shalom.